say, it's the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Yeah, that sounds so good. I'm AJ Aldini Murray, and I just wanted to do a quick tribute video to the man, the legend, the prominent figure, the man who is he speaks a lot of words, but he's all action as well. He's raised so much money for HBCUs. He's going to continue to raise money for HBCUs. And he has gotten millions of African Americans to vote. I'm talking about Tom Joyner. And I just want to talk about the beginning journey for me. He had his last broadcast today, which ended after 25 years of the Tom Joyner Morning Show. And for me, I was, the journey beginning for me, I was 11 years old. I lived at the time in Jonesboro, Georgia, with me, my mom, Cynthia McFadden, my two sisters, Desiree Daniel Dearman, and my other sister, Secret Mia Wolf. As I said, we lived in Jonesboro, Georgia, and I listened to him on my affiliate at the time, Kiss 104.7. And I never, of course, you grow up and you listen to radio in the background. Of course, you're always going to listen to radio in the car. But for me, the Tom Joyner Morning Show was the first radio show where I really listened and I felt engaged. And it was so funny. You know, I grew up in a household with a lot of comedy and a lot of joy and just real life. And we were always laughing and just being filled with so much comedy. And prior to the Tom Joyner Morning Show, when I think of comedy, your friends might be making jokes, or you may watch a comedy special at night, or just like in the afternoon, you may joke with your friends. But the Tom Joyner Morning Show was really the first time that I realized that you could laugh, you could get up in the morning, starting at 6 a.m., which was my household, because we had to get up really early for school, and my mom would like turn on the radio and just be blasting it, and it started with that theme song, and that was the first time where it really hit home for me, where I could laugh so hard I could be literally be sweating and be cramping so hard with the muscle spasms that I have, because my body it just reacts to everything, because shout out to CP, cerebral palsy, but I had a lot of joyful spasms because of the laughter, but also I grew up in a home where it was instilled with me, like love and family and positive black pride, and also having having black consciousness. And I had the type of mom that, like, we were taught to love all, but there was so much black art around me, and like, so just a whole lot of black love was surrounding me in my home. But I think that the Tom Joyner Morning Show echoed that. So there was a lot of laughter and love, of course, but there was a lot of like truth and connectedness all around the Tom Joyner Morning Show, from the commentaries of the early days of Tabitha Smiley. Then you had Roland Martin come in, and you had the other contributors, Jackie Reed, and some contributors I'm forgetting, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna show you love. Some names I can't remember. But thank you so much to all the contributors, because not only was there laughter, but I was able to be informed and have such a sense of like black pride and just feeling good. And also, even though Tom is on the radio and all of us all over the country, millions of us, like, we don't know each other, but you just got a sense like it was a family reunion, a big picnic, and everybody was invited. And then, so it's just all communal. I remember And some of you may not know this. I'm just starting, just sort of like doing a couple videos. Some of you may not know this, but there was a time where I wanted to be. I wanted to go on the radio. I've always had it in the background. It was always a dream to be an actor. But back in the day, when I wanted to be a DJ, it was because it was always a fantasy of mine to be an actor, but I didn't really know how to practically put that into play. But the reason why I wanted to be a disc jockey is because Tom Joyner was coming to town, and it was at Greenbrier Mall. Shout out to Greenbrier Mall, a black mall, and he was coming to town, and it was the first live radio show that I ever attended. Like I said, I was so excited to come because they made me laugh every morning, and I just couldn't contain it. Like, I was about to combust. It was almost compared to like Christmas Eve night or whatever, because I couldn't sleep. And then my mom came in the room at about, it might have been around 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit before. And I was already up and I was already smiling. And she gave me this sarcastic look like, boy, you cheesing already. But we got up and it was cold because I think it was around the winter months. And I was just so excited. And she was even saying, like, we weren't anticipating, even though I wanted to stay for everything. But she was like, in the beginning, she was like, I don't know if we're going to stay for the whole thing. But we ended up staying for the whole thing. And that was my first time seeing the SOS band. I was about to blow up when the show started. And Jonathan Brown was like, it's almost time to go to work. And then on these big, huge speakers and monitors, I heard the theme song. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's the Tom Joyner Morning Show. And then Tom said, we are live from Atlanta. I could have escaped my body. I think I could have got up out of my chair and walked that day. I was so excited, but it was just, I didn't know anybody, but we were just all screaming and had so much joy dancing at the SOS band. And from there, I said that I wanted to be a disc jockey. And so I studied radio. I would listen to radio all day and then copy commercials off the radio. And then what I would do, and from my mama's kitchen, it was called Live from My Mama's Kitchen. I did it every Sunday, I think from 2 to 6. I did a 4-hour radio show. I actually, like, my mom would lay out all the CDs, and I had my radio, and I had my mic, and I adopted the format of my local radio station, and I pretended that I was a DJ from that radio station, and I did a mock radio show for 3 years. I even have, like, side gigs. I think I did, like, a party or two where I was like a disc jockey, and I wanted to go on the radio. Sidebar, I actually got a chance to meet Mr. Joyner himself. He was doing a thing here in Atlanta. It was a Black History quiz bowl, and I was able to meet him after the show, and he signed Kiss 104.7 banner. It is now Kiss 104.7, but at the time, my affiliate was Kiss 104.7, and he signed it, Don't Steal My Job. Now today, Tom has no worries because he's retired, but I'm not going to steal his job. I ended up not going into radio. To make a long story short, I was able to get into acting, and I love storytelling. But I was thinking about, like, even though I'm an actor, and you may think that going into radio and being an actor is two different worlds, but I was thinking about how in so many ways they're very similar. Like in acting, like there's storytelling, and then like you're telling a story because you want to connect with an audience. And in radio, certainly in Tom Joyner's case, there's storytelling, and you want to connect with the audience, and you want to advocate for your community. And that's what I want to do as an actor. And I was thinking about, like, in so many ways, there is connection, because in today's world, there are hybrid situations where plenty of actors and performers and comedians um, do radio as well. So, I may still do radio. I often fantasize about doing a podcast with a group of people. I'm just trying to think of the right and proper podcast to do. But again, I just want to close it by saying, well done, Mr. Tom Joyner. Salute to you. Salute to the hardest working man in radio, the Fly Jock Tom Joyner. Well done, sir. Just look at these numbers. $60 million to HBCUs. Millions of people getting registered to vote. Well done, sir. Bye.